Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at video streaming, hosting, reseller plans.
Okay.
So you know how everyone always says, don't reinvent the wheel?
Right.
This is kind of what that is all about. So rather than like building your own platform from scratch,
Yeah.
you can partner with a company that already has the infrastructure,
Mm.
and you can offer the service, but under your own brand.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it. It's
Yeah.
almost like subletting. Like if you were subletting an apartment building, but for video streaming.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
So you're providing the space for people to stream their content right there.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's a really interesting model, especially now with how much video streaming is in demand.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Everyone's doing it these days.
Yeah, and it's not even just like, regular people. We're talking about, businesses that need to host webinars
Right.
or online courses, or, you've got content creators who are streaming live events.
Absolutely. Fitness instructors, musicians.
Churches.
Churches. Yeah.
So many people are looking for solutions, and you can step in and help them find that solution.
Right.
But if you're listening to this, you're probably like, okay, that sounds pretty cool.
Right.
But where do I even begin?
Yeah.
Luckily, we found a great source that really breaks down the whole process.
Okay.
How to become a video streaming hosting reseller.
Okay, great.
It starts with understanding your target audience.
And that's the key to any business, right? You got to know who you're trying to reach.
Right.
Are you thinking about gamers who need that super low latency for like Twitch? Or maybe you're thinking about educators who need a platform for their courses.
Right.
And want to have those extra features like recording and being able to play it back.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, by understanding your audience, it really helps you pick the right provider.
Absolutely.
And you can make a really compelling offer to your clients.
Yeah, it's kind of like deciding, are you going to open up a 5-star restaurant?
Right.
Or a food truck?
Exactly. Yeah. Totally different.
Totally.
Target audience.
Yeah.
So speaking of providers, we keep seeing azstreamingserver.com pop up.
Yes.
And they seem to be really great, especially for people who are new to reselling.
Yeah.
They've got a ton of different reseller plans, and, they seem to be really good for people getting into this.
And our source actually highlights their video streaming reseller plans.
Okay.
As a great starting point if you are new to reselling.
Okay.
They are designed to be very affordable,
Okay.
but still have all the features that you really need to be successful.
Nice.
So you get unlimited bandwidth, which is super important for high-quality streaming.
Right. No one wants to hit their bandwidth cap in the middle of a live stream.
No, absolutely not.
That would be terrible.
That would be a nightmare. And then they also have different options as far as how many channels and viewers you can have.
Right.
So you can kind of customize it to your customers' needs.
Okay, so that covers like the basics.
But what makes these plans really special?
So one really cool thing is that your clients can actually stream to different social media platforms directly from your service.
Oh, wow.
So you can go to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, especially for content creators who are trying to get their stuff out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
They want to meet the audience where they are.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's all about flexibility and convenience.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which seems to be a recurring theme with azstreamingserver.com.
Right.
Because they're offering HD and 4K streaming, adaptive bitrate streaming. So no matter what your internet connection is, like you're going to get good quality.
Right.
They offer support for both live and on-demand video.
Yeah, they've got pretty much everything you need.
Seems like they've thought of everything.
Yeah.
But, it can't just be all about the streaming quality. It also has to be easy to use.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, no one wants to be messing around with the control panel that's like super confusing.
Right, especially if you're managing multiple clients.
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, in your experience, what's the biggest pain point for resellers?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just not having access to intuitive tools.
Right.
You need to be able to manage your client accounts. You need to be able to customize the services. You need to be able to monitor usage. And you need to be able to troubleshoot problems, ideally, without needing a degree in computer science.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So azstreamingserver.com, actually, they make a big deal about how user-friendly their control panel is.
Okay.
They say that even if you don't have a lot of technical experience,
Right.
you can still figure it out.
That's great. Yeah.
Which is really nice. But let's be honest, sometimes technical glitches are going to happen.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So how does azstreamingserver.com handle support for their resellers?
So they offer 24/7 technical support which is really nice, especially if you're new to this whole reselling thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a safety net,
Totally.
knowing that there's always someone there to help.
Exactly.
Okay, so that covers the tech side of things.
Yeah.
But becoming a successful reseller is more than just, offering streaming services. It's also about building a brand. You need to attract clients.
Yeah.
And you need to set yourself apart from all the other resellers out there.
You've got to stand out.
Exactly. So how do you make your reseller business stand out in a crowded marketplace?
Well, that's a great question, and that's what we're going to talk about when we come back.
Sounds good. We'll be back right after the break.
All right, so before the break, we were talking about how to make your video streaming reseller business stand out.
Right, because it's a pretty competitive market out there.
It is.
So you need a good strategy.
Absolutely. And our source, How to Become a Video Streaming Hosting Reseller, has some great tips.
Okay, let's hear them.
All right, well, first let's talk about branding.
Okay.
Because it's more than just picking a cool name.
Right, it is.
Right. You really have to create like a whole identity for your business that really speaks to your target audience.
Right.
So you remember how we were talking about those audience niches earlier?
Right.
This is where that comes in. So like if you're targeting gamers, your brand might be like edgy and energetic.
Okay.
But if you're going after educators, you probably want something that's more professional, reliable.
Yeah, makes sense.
So you're kind of creating like a personality for your business that's going to attract the right clients.
I like that.
Yeah.
So you're building a strong brand, but you need a strong platform to like back it up.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where azstreamingserver.com's white label solutions are so helpful.
Absolutely. Yeah, those are key for creating a really seamless and professional experience for your clients.
Okay.
So white labeling basically means you can rebrand azstreamingserver.com's services as your own.
Oh, wow.
So you can customize everything, the control panel, the streaming player, even the emails that your clients get. Everything can have your logo, your branding.
So smart. It makes it seem like they're dealing directly with you and not with a third party.
Exactly. It's all about creating that cohesive brand experience.
Right. Yeah.
But branding is only one piece of the puzzle. You also need to be amazing at customer service.
Oh, yeah, especially in a technical field like video streaming.
Totally.
Because a lot of your clients are going to need some help.
Yeah, they're not going to be experts in this stuff.
Exactly. So what does the source say about customer service?
So it really emphasizes educating your clients.
Okay.
So offering them guides, tutorials, maybe even personalized consultations.
So you're basically becoming a trusted advisor, not just a tech provider.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all about building those relationships.
Yeah, I like that. But even with amazing service and, a really strong brand, you still need to stand out.
Yeah, you do.
From the competition.
Yeah, so this is where niche targeting comes in. Instead of trying to be everything to everyone, you should focus on a specific industry or a specific client type.
So you become the go-to streaming expert for, like, fitness studios.
Yeah.
Or churches, or, e-commerce businesses.
Exactly. Yeah, you've got a specialist.
It gives you that competitive edge.
It does.
Okay, so specialization is important.
Yeah.
Let's talk pricing for a second.
All right.
How do you find that sweet spot?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right?
Where it's affordable for your clients, but also profitable for you.
Right. It is a tough one.
It is.
The source recommends doing some research on your competitors, understanding your costs, and then finding a price that is going to attract customers but not undervalue your service.
Makes sense. azstreamingserver.com seems to be really big on offering competitive pricing.
They do.
Like their video streaming reseller plans start at a really good price.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider you get unlimited bandwidth and all those cool features.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely trying to make reselling really attractive.
Right, and they're smart to do that because If you can build up a solid client base that's recurring revenue,
That is the dream. Month after month, you're getting that income.
it's the dream.
It is.
But even if you have affordable plans, you still need to market your services.
Right. You got to get the word out.
Exactly.
So any tips from the source on how to do that?
Yeah, are there any good tips?
Yeah, so the source really emphasizes using every marketing channel you can think of.
Go.
So creating a professional website, building a social media presence, running targeted ads.
Right.
You could even partner with influencers in your niche.
Okay, so it sounds like a multi-pronged approach is the way to go.
Yeah, you got to cover all your bases.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But beyond the tactics, what kind of mindset do you need to have to be successful at this?
I think the most important thing is to be adaptable
Okay.
and to always be learning.
Right. Because things are changing so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, the world of video streaming is constantly evolving.
Right.
New platforms are popping up all the time. Audience expectations change. Technology is always advancing.
So you have to be willing to embrace the change and be able to keep up with it all.
Exactly.
But that can feel overwhelming because there's just so much information out there.
It can.
So where do you even begin?
Well, luckily, there are tons of resources available.
Okay.
You know, industry publications, online forums, even podcasts,
Right.
social media groups, dedicated to video streaming.
So you can kind of build your own support network.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you connect with other resellers, attend webinars, just soak up as much knowledge as you can.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of different things here.
We have.
From the specifics of azstreamingserver.com's reseller plans to like the bigger picture of building a business.
Right.
So what are some key takeaways for our listeners?
I think the most important thing to remember is that becoming a video streaming hosting reseller, it's not just about technology. It's about understanding your audience, building a compelling brand, and providing amazing service.
Right.
And you have to be constantly adapting to this ever-changing world of streaming.
Sounds like a challenge, but also a really cool opportunity.
It is.
So let's wrap up with some final thoughts and some advice for our listeners.
You are listening to the Deep Dive podcast from az-streamingserver.com.
Okay, so we're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into video streaming, hosting, reselling.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground. We talked about what it means to partner with the provider, and we took a close look at azstreamingserver.com.
Especially those video streaming reseller plans. They seem like a really good option, especially for someone who's just starting out.
Right, and we talked about the bigger picture, too, about how to build a successful business around this. It's not just about the tech stuff.
It's not. So for our listener who's thinking, okay, this is all great, but what do I actually DO next? What would you say?
Well, if you're serious about this, the first thing you got to do is research. Really dig into azstreamingserver.com's website. Look at all the different plans. See if what they're offering matches up with what you want to do.
Like, think back to those audience niches we talked about.
Uh-huh.
Do their plans have what you need to serve those specific types of clients?
Exactly. And don't just get stuck on the technical details either. Think about the bigger picture. What kind of brand are you trying to build?
Right.
How are you going to make yourself stand out? What are you bringing to the table that's more than just the streaming itself?
It's about having that unique selling proposition, right? The thing that makes you different.
That's it. Maybe it's your customer service, or that you're an expert in a certain niche.
Or you're really good at personalizing the experience for each client.
Yeah, something like that. And remember, this isn't something you can just set up and forget about. This streaming world, it changes all the time.
It does, yeah. New platforms are popping up. The tech is always getting better. People's expectations are different now. So you have to keep learning.
Absolutely. Stay curious, go to industry events, talk to other people who are doing this.
Yeah. Always be on the lookout for ways to do things better.
And don't be afraid to try new things. Experiment with your marketing, try out different pricing, listen to what your clients are telling you. Being able to adapt, that's the key.
It's all about being flexible. Well, we've really covered a lot today, from the nitty-gritty of the reseller plans to the big picture strategy stuff.
We have.
So as we wrap up, What are some final thoughts you'd leave our listener with?
I think the biggest thing to remember is the video streaming market is huge, and it's only getting bigger. And getting started as a reseller, it's not as hard as you might think.
It's not.
But just signing up for a plan, that's not enough. You have to be strategic, you got to be good with people, and you got to be willing to keep learning. If you do all that, you can be really successful.
Yeah. If you're willing to put in the work and you're ready for a challenge, this could be a really awesome opportunity.
It could.
Well, that's it for this deep dive. Hopefully you found it helpful, maybe even a little bit inspiring.
I hope so.
Until next time, keep learning and keep exploring. We'll see you then.